Thank you. All right, so we are not a quorum, but I would like to call the meeting to order here at 4 p.m. on April 7th. Oh, that was for you. Let's see. Dominic is on the phone right now. I'm here, Knut. Terry is traveling, so he's absent. Jim Bray is not here. And Dominic is present. And we have public present. We cannot adopt, well, we can go ahead with the meeting, but we can't really adopt or approve anything with only 2 of the committee members here. So maybe we'll have a short meeting, I guess. So I was hoping for a little more attendance. Let's move on to public comments, and we will have to postpone the adoption of the minutes, but I can share them real quick. At least I can present what we did last time. So let me do that. Oh, Diana's here. There we go. Got a few more. So sorry, I guess the manager is attending to. You're back, Dominic.
Hi.
And Diane is here. Thank you.
Hi. Who else is on? Let me see.
Okay, so I called the meeting to order. We don't have a quorum, but let's still go ahead and collect feedback. This meeting is intended for discussing the measure, what the amount should be, and what should be in the information package that's going out. So I'll just review the minutes. We cannot approve them in this meeting unless Jim joins. As I said, Terry is out for today. So last time, Phil presented updates on the slurry seal and tanks that might be available from Hunt and Son. Diane gave the first presentation of the financial status of the district. I was going to go on to the board meeting, and which then also was refined for the 2 special board meetings where we collected feedback from the district. And from that, we now have 4 proposals on the table. And part of the meeting today is intent to maybe narrow down what we're going to suggest to the board, or at least collect feedback for additional feedback about what people think is realistic and what we should try and shoot for on the measure. The other update was from the fuel system, that an above ground system, I guess we are estimating about $10,000 in savings annually with an above ground storage tank as opposed to an underground. And this is kind of a breakdown of where the savings would be coming from with an above ground storage tank. And I think that's it. So that's the minute. We'll wait and get them approved in another meeting, but the minutes are there. Going back to the agenda. So I'm sharing the agenda now, I hope. So it's a public forum, public comment. So anything, comments besides what's on the agenda, we'll get to the committees and the new business here on the ballot.
This is Phil. I have a couple of comments.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. I talked to Rich there at Hunt, and they tested that tank and said it. So that isn't good news. Now, on the other hand, I've heard that on our tank test for our underground tank went pretty well.
Yes.
And so in the market for a tank. Any feedback on that one?
maybe I should let Dominic speak. My understanding is the testing went really well. We don't have the official report yet that we can share, but I guess it's expected to be here. But they apparently said the tank was in good shape. So I don't know, Dominic, if you have anything to add to that.
Yeah, so with the county, looking through there and Afford a Test, doing all the tests that they do for us on an annual matter, everything is still working exceptionally well. They have talked about how there's a lot of aspects of the tank that don't show its age, meaning that it doesn't look like a 35-year-old tank. It looks almost brand new in some respects. Tankology, when they came out, I'm still waiting to get the official report from them, but looking at the footage that they shared with me, so I stayed out there the whole time, and they have a little LCD screen that I could watch the whole thing on. There's some basic pockmarks that are on the inside of the tank, and the technician who came out said you see that on everything, and he's seen worse deterioration in 5-year-old tanks than he'd seen in our tanks. And the fuel was clear, dark blue. There weren't anything that was of particular note to look at. There was a couple of things about in 2016 or so, apparently there was an entry where they used fiberglass to go in and seal the cracks and everything there, and little bits and pieces, little patches here and there. And looking at all of those, it was patched really well. So there isn't any concern from those like sealing cracks or anything. It doesn't look like there was a leak at that point when they did that. It looks like it was just kind of a secondary sort of thing of just, it's been a few years, we're going to put some seals on where the tank comes together. But yeah, they're looking at the tank there and getting his unofficial opinion. He said there's not really any need to go to an above ground tank soon. So it's looking like we're in a solid space, at least for the time being, with our tanks.
So that's good news.
Yes. So Phil, what was it you said about the Convolt? That was in good shape too, the 12,000 gallon, is that what you?
Well, the 12,000 gallon tank, they went and tested it on their own nickel.
Right.
And not pass.
Okay.
So
I just want to make sure I capture it correctly. Yeah. So,
sure, it did not pass. So this is actually kind of a godsend to us.
yeah. Oh, you said it did not pass.
It did not pass. It failed.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So because of that, this is a bit of a godsend to us that the tank is in good shape.
Yeah.
For the foreseeable future, the next 5 years, it sounds like, and tell me if I'm wrong, Dominic.
No, that sounds correct. They do not see any causes for concern for at least a few years or so. There's nothing that's directly a problem with the tanks, meaning that they can't see anything, which is a good thing.
Right.
That is good news. I guess it still doesn't alleviate the problems we have with the containment and the dispensers and the point of sale system. So we still will keep those expenses going forward. But of course, it gives us that time to put a project together. I guess that can maybe happen in 5 years then. So, and then
Sure.
we make sure we budget sufficient for fuel system repairs, I guess, with the underground tank.
So that's, from what I understand, that's good news.
I think so, yes. So it is. And I think that was a good suggestion to evaluate the life of the existing tank here. So any other updates or any other comments from the public?
Nothing from me.
Okay. All right.
I think I'm the only public.
We have a few more. Diane, I think you have a time limit, right? So I'll get to it fairly quickly here on the financial recommendation.
I just have a question.
Yeah, go ahead, Dan.
In the last CPAD meeting, I brought up that we would probably benefit us all if we started the Cops and Rodders discussion and getting that. I didn't know if that's on the agenda for the next official CPAD meeting, because I just need to let folks at CHP know if that is on the agenda for the next CPAD meeting.
Okay, I will make sure. Actually, Dominic, you got the one that puts it, the agenda together, correct? So you can,
Yeah, I'll make a note that we put that on for the next
Oh.
board meeting. We can put that on so that way we can,
that will be the March 25th meeting. So
no, that would be the April 20th.
April 25th, sorry.
Great, thanks, guys.
Okay, thank you. Old business. So we now have, I'm sorry, on the agenda, I didn't put them all, but I think we have 4 ad hoc committees. We have fuel system replacement. We have hangar and tie-down leases. We have security and user fees that kind of became one. And then we have a street one. So those are the 4 that I am aware of at this point. I am on the fuel system one. We haven't had a meeting since where we had the discussion about the inspection of the underground tank. And that's where it was recommended to the board to go ahead with that inspection, which then was approved by the board, and it happened as Dominic just described. I think we're going to have a meeting as soon as Terry is back again to discuss steps going forward on this. And then I think the weak link in the chain is now going to be the point of sale system. And given that we might have a longer lifetime of the tank itself, we can probably go ahead with the project just to replace the point of sale systems for a number of reasons. And one of them being that it gets more and more complicated simply to get our transactions downloaded from it. And it doesn't keep up with modern technology like the credit card with chips. And we cannot use the internet, which we now have in the fuel shed available to get to the transactions and the point of sale system. So, but anyway, that's for the next fuel committee meeting. Diane, I don't know if there's any update on the hangar and tie down lease committee. If not, then we can.
No, we haven't, that's being led by Jeff.
Okay.
And we have not met, he was out of town, so we have not.
That's
met.
right, yeah, that's true. What about security and user fees? I guess
Yeah,
there was an update at the board meeting and we were waiting for a proposal from Dave
Well,
Becker.
exactly. We got approval to move forward to go and speak with our airport partners. And so that will be happening at the end of April, beginning of May. So we don't have any further updates until those conversations happen. So I
Okay,
don't
great.
expect we'll be able to give an update at the board meeting until the end of May and give us, Dominic and time to, and Dave time to work that.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Mhm.
Street committee, I don't know if that has met yet. Phil, you on that one? Has there been any meetings that you are aware of? on the street?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay, all right, so I'll just say no update. That brings us to new business. So as you might be aware, the board decided on the last regular board meeting to move ahead with a ballot measure for this upcoming November election. The schedule, I guess I can share that. Is it okay if I share your slides, Diane? Because those are probably the one that.
Oh, of
Sure.
course, absolutely.
And they are posted on the
They are.
website too. So let's
The
see.
iteration was posted, I posted the first ones and then the ones that we changed. So that would be the
Right.
last one that, that is existing, the last iteration.
Okay, so let me go ahead and share that. So if we just look, I can go to, I have it in, I don't have it in
Would it be?
PowerPoint.
Yeah, sorry about that. They're just so darn big to,
Yeah, that's fine, no problems.
you
Uh,
can
so-
see it though.
Yeah, good. So we're right now here where it was approved at the regular board meeting in March, and the notification to all the registered voters went out yesterday. And then we have that period here where we lead up to a regular board meeting that can approve a resolution the first time when it gets introduced in June, I'm sorry, it has to be introduced in May, and then the final approval is in June to be submitted to the county in July. So what needs to happen between now and the initial introduction of the ballot measure to the board is determine two things. We got to come up with what are the amounts that we are asking for, and I'm not at this meeting. We already have a lot of proposals that are up, so we don't need to go through all that again, but it's more to get a feel for what do we think is realistic that will pass, because we really need something to pass to maintain the airport and start collecting money for maintaining the streets. So that's kind of what I would like to start today. We have another Infrastructure and Finance Committee meeting on the 21st, where we hopefully can bring it down to more precise numbers before the board meeting on the 25th. So that's how the schedule looks, and the same as we followed back in 2020. So just to review the summaries, this is what came out of the March 23rd special board meeting with a nice attendance. And it's based on the tier model that Terry put together, and Diane has made this very nice presentation of it, where blue means airport and green is the streets. And the bottom one is we collect $25 a month, $300 a year, and that all goes to the airport. Nothing goes to the street. The only income we get to the streets is our share of the property taxes that we get from the county. That's about $14,000 a year. The next one is a proposal to increase the fees by $25, divided $12.50 to the airport, $12.50 to the street. And that makes it up to $600 a year for the total fee. And then in addition to that, have a one-time assessment of $2,000 per property, so that the slurry seal, an initial slurry seal, could happen right away. That would collect about the $200,000 needed for the slurry seal proposed. And then there's the next up is kind of move things a tier up. We currently believe the streets are tier 0, meaning we're not really able to do much maintenance and we're just paying off debt. Tier 1 is maintaining operations and repairs. So if you want to move the streets to tier 1 and the airport to tier 2, then the proposal is to increase the annual or the monthly fees by $50, with an additional $25 to the airport and $25 to the streets. That means it'll take a while to save up the necessary amounts to do the slurry seal. Right now, the street restricted account has about $51,000 in it, so we need at least another 150, and who knows what the price is going to be in a few years of a slurry seal. The final proposal is that we move to tier 2, and we need actually the most expensive part we have are the streets. So if we want to get onto a pavement plan for the streets, the proposal is to increase the annual by 77 for a new total of 102, with $25 going to the streets and 52 going to the streets. And it was immediately decided to drop anything that had to do with tier 3, which was collecting more money so that we could start replacing more aging infrastructures, especially like the fuel tank and maybe fence and gates and things like that. Some of that we can save up to with the tier 2 model as well. It's just going to be a longer and yeah. Tier 3, I guess we can look at that. I don't know if you have anything to add, but there's kind of the distinction between the two. So tier 2 we can sustain, and we can start saving up for replacing some end of life assets that we have. The other one is actually improving the airport compared to what it is today, not just maintaining the existing infrastructure. So those are so tier 3 has pretty much been dropped from any proposals here. Diane, I guess you put this very nice description together. I don't know what you have to add or what your recommendation might be.
Well, yeah, well, gosh, I don't have anything else to add. I think I don't know, is there anyone on this meeting that hasn't had the opportunity to hear this before, or this is brand new information? Because that's probably where, if it's just repetition, I think we probably could go into you can go into the discussion.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. So we have a few public, so please do speak up if you have any questions or clarifications on this.
Yeah, the bottom tier is current. That's the current and the bottom. And so
Yes.
there's, yeah, as Ted said, so those are the 3 options. And you just have to balance. One thing I will say, when we did a mock vote, now it's totally skewed because usually the people that are at the meeting are the people that are supportive. But people did tend to like the top one, tier 2. Of course, the concern is this is almost our last shot, or is our last shot. We have tried before and failed, and that is the bet here. It's a big bet. So what do we feel comfortable going forward with, where we can maintain the airport and the streets, and that we can get this majority vote? And that is the question for this committee.
Right.
We recommend, and I'll let this committee discuss.
Yeah, I would like to, I certainly have my opinion, but I guess I would like to hear other people if what they would suggest or recommend, or what they think might be what we should go for. So.
Well, I'm for the highest amount. We
Okay.
need money. That's my opinion.
Okay, thank you, Dennis. So
Yeah,
that's the
this-
tier 2 model here you're speaking in favor of, right? So,
And this is Dan. I know I voiced my opinion last time too, but I'll voice it again here just to make sure we're here. My personal belief is I thought we would have passed last time had we gotten more information out to people and educated them. There's a lot of misinformation as far as what the funds would have done. Because the question was asked, obviously I'm stating tier 2, but I still believe that it won't pass if we do not get more information out to people. I don't know what the board is capable of doing. I'm happy to shoot videos with each and every one of you and people in the neighborhood to say what the benefits are, and happy to send it out through FOCA, whatever we need to do. I just really think a lot of people don't understand where we are with the airport and the needs, where we are with the roads. And if we can get that information out, I think it'll strongly pass. But I honestly think if we do like we did last time without any education of the neighborhood, it probably won't pass again.
yeah. I'm hoping this time we can do more on the information by actually being able to walk around and talking to people and with us. Last time everything went through Zoom and online meetings, so hopefully that can help. But
Yeah,
we have talked about, and Diane has also mentioned, I think it's very important that we try to reach out to people that voted no before and understand their concerns as part of this. And
The video is a terrific idea. I mean, that certainly would take a lot of time and effort, but I think it would go a long way. I think we should take you up on that. Because it would be friendly faces, people that and you would get an idea of where people that you respect stand. And I think it's a terrific idea. But I agree. I don't think if we do it the same way, I don't think it'll pass either. And so unless we've got a plan to educate people on the 77, I think we should go with the lower one.
Yeah, and I think the thing is, the benefit with FOCA too, and it's to educate on both sides, right? Because people have different opinions. we can actually have a meet and greet about this, right? Have a pizza party. Everybody, we all know people don't come unless there's free food. And we could do that and have, now I just don't understand from the board of, can you guys attend something like that and educate folks at a, we all know that we don't get that many people coming CPAD. I will tell you, when we have pizza parties, we get 80, 90 people coming. So that might be the
Right.
best way to start. And then we shoot a video. We do both. That would be fantastic. But I don't know what the board is allowed to do in attending something like that.
I don't think so. I don't think we can do that. I think the
No,
rule against public, a public board does not enable us to do anything or serve any food or any kind of enticements other than the information. So great idea. But I don't think legally we can do that.
No, let me clarify that, Dan, is
Yeah.
that this would be a FOCA event.
Okay.
I'm wondering if you guys could be there to answer questions, but it would be 100% a FOCA event, not a CPAD event.
What do you think, Ted? I don't know that we're not, yeah, I don't think we're allowed to.
I don't know if FOCA
discuss-
is really
yeah,
allowed to get involved in the politics of things, but.
Yeah, I don't, well, we're not allowed to all gather and without
Right.
having an agenda and posting the materials ahead of time and I'm,
Right.
Understood.
I
Okay.
know,
We
I love the brainstorm. I would love to do it, but perhaps we could ask Dave Becker. I'm certainly not an expert on this.
Right.
Sure.
On what he thinks. But I like
Well-
your idea of, we could have people, champions of each of other options, the pros and the cons. And that's, that goes a long way to educating it. And I think that's totally fair,
Yeah.
to have residents who are opposed to it and to why, and then, gosh, and it would be nice to add to that what we should do instead, because this is kind of the last, our last attempt. So that's
Okay.
right.
Do you know if there's been any move?
Go ahead.
Excuse me, this is Phil.
Yeah, go ahead, Phil.
You know if there's been any move forward to correct the inequity with the 13 hangars on the other side of the airport and the one owner and the 5 hangars for the other owner?
Yes, go ahead, Diane.
No,
You
I
were
would
probably
say
the one that-
that's my committee.
Yeah.
That's the risk management committee. And although we certainly didn't state an amount in the last meeting, the intention, when we got the approval for Dave and Dominic to go talk to Charlie, and not just Charlie, it would be also the non-aviation business owners that have hangars. The intent is for it to be equal and to have them pay, the proposal would be $75, to have them pay also access. So that's the whole point. And one of the first presentations we did is we got to balance this out. And so those conversations are just starting. So I can't promise that it'll happen, but that is what we're going after. You bet.
Yeah, that's, I think that's a sticking point with a lot of the no voters.
Yeah.
Currently, we're paying $25 a month on here on this side. That's a current that we've been told that we can't take and continue with that. But the other hangar owners are paying on that 13 hangar complex, $2 and change a month, like it's $2.15 a month.
Yeah.
So the inequity there is pretty dramatic. And if that's,
Yes. Mhm.
I don't
Yeah.
see how it's just going to cause you problems. You're not going to pass.
Point well taken. I don't know, maybe we can talk offline on our timing, Dominic. Maybe we can at least move up some of those meetings so we have made some progress in that area to show goodwill and intent. And that's a good point, Phil, and that we certainly are, we took that feedback, and that's one of the reasons why we're pushing that.
Yeah, so it's Dave Becker's out of town right now. So when he gets back, he'll be able to actually talk about a time that we can go over and begin discussing that with the T hangars and then the plaza hangars as well, but the intention is that that is going to be addressed one way or another. It's going to be addressing that issue. Because it's obviously, it needs to be balanced and fair, and we can't expect people on the residential side to be paying more and then not do anything on the airport side.
I've heard different rumors, pardon me. And one of them is they were going to have Charlie pay all the fees and then pass those on to the tenants. I think that's going to be kind of almost a very difficult thing to do. But since the 13 hangars are separately owned and they should be getting personal property tax bills annually, that fee can be attached to that personal property tax bill, where it would be just like any other property here within the air park or airport district. Makes it a lot more
Transparent, I guess.
Yeah,
it's less of a problem for someone to take and challenge in court.
I don't know what the structure is going to be. I'm so glad that Dave is involved. And so he's not here, and so we'll table
Sure.
that.
Yeah, I
comment.
haven't.
Excellent, yeah.
I haven't heard any proposals yet, so you know more than me apparently, Phil. But I
It's
haven't
just a
heard one
rumor
right
that,
Oh, okay.
we don't have any proposal yet, Phil, so
then,
that is a rumor.
mm,
And perhaps, speculation on how it's going to work. People are
Mhm.
guessing.
And I don't mind doing some fact-checking if no one else minds.
We would love to have any input to help this. I mean, that's one of the challenges is we've got all this, we'll call it opportunity. And it's just, and it is a lot of work, and it's a lot of work to justify, anything that, and you want to do it right, and you want to be fair to people. These are our airport partners, and we want to hold our head high as we all move forward on this. So yeah, we'd love that, Phil.
Okay.
Thank you. So, Phil, I know your proposal is the plus 25 and then the one-time assessment. I don't know if you have any other inputs, or you would be negotiable for one of the other ones. I think it's important that we can try and get you on board as well. I think maybe my
Sure.
suggestion would be the $50 increase and no assessment additionally, so that we could start collecting money for the streets, but we could also at the same time improve the budget for the airport operations and replacement of some of the old infrastructure over there. So that in one way, it's not as much as the Measure P was, which was actually the tier 2 here reversed. It was 50 more for the
Mhm.
airport and 25 for the streets. So I'm maybe suggesting the second one is what I would try to. I would like tier 2, but I don't know if it's realistic. And then I think we need to ask you as the proposer of number 3, if there's any in-between negotiations we could talk about.
So here are my thoughts on the two upper proposals. I like the plus $50 one more than I like the $77 one.
Right.
I'll tell you why in just a second. And I still am championing my proposal because it gets us the road maintenance much sooner. I mean, we don't have to save up for 2 or 3 years to get the road maintenance done. We get it done,
Right.
saving damage to the roads. And then we also have a little bit of money coming in so we can address it again in 5 years. One of the other things that I'm kind of concerned about with either of the proposals or any of the proposals is we are going into a downturn into the economy right now. And the stock market's been flopping around like a fish. And we're 7 months out before the vote. And if the economy downturns, I mean, we have the highest gasoline prices we've had in a very long time. And usually right after the prices go up, when the economy has a serious downturn. So we're going to be asking more from people that may or may not be able to afford it. So that's my concerns. The third ups, we got current, deferred, and up a tier. The up a tier plan is actually less money than what I'm asking for.
Yes. Mhm.
I'm asking for more money. But there's a defined cost, and then it throttles back down. And with that defined cost, we get the roads repaired much quicker. It's been 11 years, and we should have had the roads resealed at least twice in that amount of time.
Yeah. Yeah, we had the cracks.
Any continued. Yeah, but I mean, we haven't resealed all the roads.
Right,
and
right.
That's what,
Exactly. Mhm.
and I'm just afraid of any further degradation where just a slurry seal won't fix it. We'll have to go in and go for another crack seal, and then we'll have to do a slurry seal on top of that, which I'd rather take care of the problem. I don't like to let things run until all of a sudden we have a big problem. So you asked my opinion. I'm asking for more money in the doubling and the 2,000. And the only benefit I see to that is we get to address the roads sooner, quicker, and less costly. Then if I were to go to any other plan, I would go to the next step up. And I think in the long run, it would kind of be close to what I'm doing. It's going to take us longer to do it. And could cost us a lot of money.
So just for the benefit of people here, an increase of $25 a month is about a total of $39,000, $40,000 a year. So your proposal would be an additional $20,000 for the airport, $20,000 for the street, and then a one-time $2,000 fee for the
roads.
slurry. And then the upper tier would be $40,000 a year for the airport and $40,000 a year for the streets. And we are currently at about slightly above 50,000 saved up for the streets. So it would take about 3 to 4 years to get to the 200,000. That's correct. Yeah. And again, we don't know what the price would be in 3 to 4 years. One suggestion I've heard, I don't know if it's realistic, is that if we do get the upper tier amount, then maybe it would be possible to get a loan similar to the USDA or Caltrans loan or something like that. Well, this is the street, but some kind of loan maybe that could get the slurry seal done sooner. And now we are collecting up the money to pay that. But anyway, that's another discussion problem.
Would it be possible, one of the challenges with the deferral plan is that it's just execution. We have to do 2 parallel processes. And would it be possible to mix the 2 options where we would do the upper tier this year on the ballot, and then in 2023, go for the parallel process with the assessment and the one-time fee for to infuse into the roads?
I see that.
That's possible, but I think then you'd be above the tier 2 cost.
Possibly. And then the other challenge I have with the one at the bottom is there's just not quite enough in the airport to get above the it's just short on the airport side. Yeah, I mean, I just don't think we can execute with the board members we have. I don't think we can do the bottom one in a timely fashion.
Well,
That's my opinion.
The only other concern I have, and is if we did the doubling of the fees, then we'd be getting something. But if we don't do something and have it pass,
I know.
then there's real problems. And so I want to kind of like McDonald's, they get you in there with a $1 hamburger and then maybe you buy something later, versus go for the super duper Big Mac, which is $8 and it's one heck of a burger, but nobody goes and buys it. So if the economy has a downturn and they vote no again.
Yeah.
Well, we had the downturn the last time too, right? So that's maybe similar in some sense.
The only other idea I have is I don't know if this is possible, is an incremental where you start with double and then in a year it goes up. You know, something like that.
I
Yeah, I
think
don't
that
know
might
if
be
you
a
were,
little bit of a bookkeeping nightmare.
yeah,
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah,
just formulating, we had an attempt of formulating the previous ballot measure with a cost of living increase, and it just got so complicated
yeah,
that
okay.
we figured nobody would understand, or
Yeah, right.
it would just, because of the complexity of it, it would get voted down. So you need a pretty simple message on the ballot. It's my recommendation, I guess. I'm not saying it can't be done. You got 75 words to describe a ballot measure, and so it really has to be very tight and clear what we're doing. So,
Knut, you might want to check that. I think it's 300.
the number of words?
Yeah,
I think it's 75, but I'll check. That's what we
check
had to
that.
get.
I think it's 300. But
Okay,
I may be wrong, or I may be looking at it different, but I think it's 300.
okay. Yeah, anyway, it's a very limited amount you have, and trying to describe a cost of living increase as part of it, so it wasn't a fixed amount, was turned out to be such a complexity that we dropped it completely in the previous ballot measure. So, but I got it. So maybe it could be a two-step process, maybe, but
Well, I do need to step away. I have another commitment.
yes.
Let me know what you guys decide, and
Well, we have a meeting on the 21st. I don't know, maybe you can't attend that one because Terry's probably going to be here, but
all right.
we'll give you the feedback, Diane, for a presentation. Right?
Yeah,
So the idea
let
is
me
that
know
we
what
hopefully
you
have
want to do.
something to recommend to the board, that we have additional feedback for the next meeting. Thank you so much, Diane.
Right. Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Bye-bye.
But
Okay, I don't know if anybody has any other input. I captured your feedback, Phil, with the financial situation right now and the cost for people, right, of this. And then it's better to have something than nothing, I guess, with the vote.
yeah, that's just my opinion, which that and $5 will get you a small coffee at Starbucks.
Right. So anybody else have any? So I had the other feedback was tier 2 is the recommended one, so we can start saving up for better street maintenance and a street pavement plan. So that's kind of the feedback I have right now. Personally, I may be leaning up a tier is the one I would like to see the additional 25 for the airport, having seen the state of some of the things we have, like the gates and the taxiways, and some of the hangars need some serious repair soon. The ones with sliding doors need new rollers soon, and we've spent a lot of money on repairing the ones with bifolds this year, and there's still more coming. So that would be why at least I would like to see the 25 increase for the airport in itself. But all right. So what we are trying to prepare for the next meeting, if there's no more feedback for this, is the information package that goes out with whatever amount. And for the airport, I think we would like to try and put together a list of the existing infrastructure, what the issues are and what we're trying to rectify with this ballot measure. So, and again, we talked about it should be able to fit on 1 or 2 sheets so that it's brief enough that people will read it, and it should be very clear where the money are going that we are collecting from a hopefully passing ballot measure in November. So that would be the step that we will be discussing on the 21st for that agenda. So if anybody has any feedback there, I'd love to hear it, or any other feedback you might have. All right. Well, if that's not the case, I think we'll end early today. And again, we have another infrastructure meeting on the 21st, and I expect there'll be some ad hoc committee meetings. And if you're interested in joining any of those, we have 4. We have the fuel system one, we have the hang on tie down lease, we have the security and user fee, and then the street. So those are the 4 committees we have right now. So for the fuel system committee, it's Terry, that's the lead on that. The hangar one is Jeff. The other board, what's his last name? Jeff Robertson. The security and user fees is Dave Becker. And the streets, I don't know who's actually leading that one up, but Phil, I know you on that one at least. and
I'm
you're
on that
the-
one.
And you're also on the fuel system replacement one, so.
Correct.
I expect once we get the report back from technology, we'll have the next meeting and decide the next steps there, so. All right, so with that, I guess I would like to adjourn this meeting at 4:45. Thank you so much, everyone, for your input and feedback on this. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Bye-bye.